Starting off our list today at number 10, we have the Kardashians. With Kim Kardashian attending the Met Gala since 2013, she has become a series regular, and thanks to her stunning looks, her family has also been asked to attend the hottest event of the season in the past. But now it seems like the whole Kardashian clan may have actually gotten the boot from attending this year's Met Gala event. And it really makes us ask if it's because the family just isn't relevant anymore, with sources telling Page 6 that Vogue's editor-in-chief Anna Wintour is cracking down on the guest list. It really makes you wonder why she is leaving Hollywood's most famous family off the list from attending this year's event. And it could be related to the fact that Kim damaged the most iconic dress ever worn by Marilyn Monroe to be the reason behind the family's shutout. But there's still rumors circulating that the Kardashians could actually still show up to the event despite being too C-list for Anna's liking. Number 9. Demi Lovato. When you get invited to the Met Gala and you don't enjoy your time, it's probably better not to speak about it. How much the experience was unjoyful and it was actually a nightmare for you. Or you may never receive an invite to come back, and that's exactly what happened to Demi Lovato after the Met Gala was over. Demi chatted about her experience during an interview with Billboard in 2018, where she would note she hadn't attended a gala since before, saying, "I had a terrible experience. This one celebrity was a complete B and was miserable to be around, and it was very cliquey, and I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink. The experience was so bad that Demi even had to leave the Met Gala to go straight to an AA meeting." And especially since she went on to make fun of the gala, Anna probably just will presume to leave her name off the list going forward to prevent Demi from being uncomfortable going forward. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, we have Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer's statement on the Met Gala didn't get her banned permanently. Well, that's what we hope, but she once made it very clear about how she truly felt about the event when she sat down for an interview with Howard Stern in 2016. And what she had to say definitely hurt her chances of getting an invite back. As the star went on to say, "It's people doing an impersonation of having a conversation. I don't like the farce. We're dressed up like a bunch of effing a-holes. I don't like it. I have no interest in fashion. I don't care. But if you have no interest in fashion, then why would you be attending the biggest fashion event of the year, held by the biggest fashion icon the world has ever known?" Number 7. Rachel Zoe. You definitely won't be seeing celebrity stylist and fashion designer Rachel Zoe getting her own table at the Met Gala anytime soon. The former Bravo series star once was invited to Brian Atwood's table at the 2007 gala, but she was then shortly disinvited after. And if it couldn't get any more awkward, it would then be said that although Anna doesn't need any kind of formal reason to cut her guest from her party, she definitely cut Rachel from attending the event because she didn't love the fact that Rachel once told the New York Times that Anna Wintour is one of her heroes, but they say I'm more influential. Yikes. Number 6. Zayn Malik. So we all know Zayn attended the 2016 Met Gala with his then girlfriend Gigi Hadid, but he made it very clear at the end of the night that he had no interest in redoing it, as he later told GQ magazine in 2018, "I'd rather be sitting at my house doing something more productive than dressing up in really expensive clothes and then being photographed on the red carpet. To do the self-indulgent look at me, I'm amazing thing on the red carpet, it's not me." And considering he was miserable attending the event and the fact that he and Gigi Hadid are in a giant feud means that Zayn's chances of attending the event this year are very slim. But it's not like Zayn would really care about being left off the list anyways, as it's not like he wants to run into Gigi's family, and he definitely would rather be sitting at home doing more productive things. It's just really not hard to blame him, as just being able to attend the event once is a dream come true to many. Number 5. Jamila Jamil. So we all know Jamila Jamil is never the one to shy away from expressing her opinions, as a lot of her statements have landed her in the hot seat, and she's definitely on a self-destructive path because of it. Well, back in October, Jamila would call out the Met Gala for their 2023 theme, which celebrated the late Karl Lagerfeld, by saying this man was indeed supremely talented, but used his platform in such a distinctively hateful way, mostly towards women, so repeatedly and up until last year of his life, showing no remorse, no atonement movement, no apology, no help to groups he attacked. There was no explanation for his cruel outburst, and just like that, she would find her name being cut from the invitation as Anna, and her clearly showed different views, and Anna was afraid Jamila, if she was invited to this year's event, she would make some pretty controversial statements that would have all of Hollywood talking, but I'm sure even without an invitation, we're going to see her try something that we've never seen before. Number 4, Lily Reinhart. So back in October, Lily Reinhart would state that she didn't think she would ever be invited to the Met Gala again. And she may have just been right when she stated that, as we might not see the actor attend the event for a while now. And it wasn't because she didn't have a good time in the years that she has previously attended, but more to do with the fact that she got a little critical when it came to her comments about Kim Kardashian that had her name removed from the guest list of the hottest event of the year. In case you forgot, after last year's event, Lily was quick to call out Kim after Kim revealed that she had lost 16 pounds in just 3 weeks in order to fit into one of Marilyn Monroe's iconic dresses. And with it, Lily just doesn't seem to regret her comments. She doesn't care to be invited back, but one thing is for sure, even with the Kardashian family being axed from this year's event, Lily had the courage to call the biggest family in Hollywood out, and they're responsible for the ruin of many people who stand before her. So Anna's definitely afraid of what this type of power could have at the gala, and that's why she was disinvited. Number 3, Tim Gunn. Though you might assume that all the important names in fashion could put aside their differences to share the most anticipated party of the year, you obviously know better than that. As we know, the Met Gala wouldn't be the Met Gala with all the cattiness and pettiness reigning in the industry. So Tim Gunn actually used to enjoy attending the Met Galas until 2006, when his invitation disappeared indefinitely. He then told E! the reason behind his banning was when he said, "I was asked what is the most unforgettable thing I've seen in fashion, and said it's easy. I was watching Anna Wintour being carried down 5 flights of stairs by 2 bodyguards from a fashion show." While Vogue went on to ask him to make a retraction about his comment, he refused and found his name in Anna's bad book, and there has been a full-out feud between the two since. Number 2, Josh Hartnett. If you're like me, you're probably asking yourself, whatever happened to Josh Hartnett, and why haven't we seen him in all these years? And honestly, it could just be because of Anna Wintour. Though Josh has been an attendee at the Met Gala before, it seems like he found his name being cut from the list, as Anna just doesn't find him relevant any longer. And even with Anna declaring that Josh is no longer relevant, her fans, or those who have been fascinated with the Met Gala for years, have caught wind of this drama due to the 2016 documentary The First Monday in May, as Calvin Klein calls Vogue, requesting to dress Josh Hartnett and have him sit at his table, and Vogue responded with a thanks but no thanks response by saying, "What has he done lately?" Nothing. You guys are all set, and just like that, Josh's career disappeared. And coming in number 1 today, we have Coco Rocha. Supermodel Coco Rocha was a staple on the Met Gala red carpet for years, but when Katy Perry was invited to co-chair the 2017 Comme des Garçons theme event, things got a little too personal. Though Anna oversees the whole affair, she does bestow some of her power to the VIPs who co-host with her each year. As if you recall, back in 2013, Coco once accused Katy of copying her style when the Dark Horse singer wore the exact same gown Coco had donned at that year's Met Gala just a couple months earlier. And flash forward years later, Katy finally got her revenge, and it just gets even more intense, as although Coco has been attending the gala several times for not being invited in 2017, we probably will never see her attend the event again, as once you're kicked off that list, an invite back, unless somehow you become this triple A-list celebrity, which the chances are pretty slim.
And at number 10, we got Donald Trump. The former president has been banned from the majority of social media platforms. The domino effect of bans started when he was banned from Twitter following the January 7th insurrection that took place at the Washington, D.C. Capitol. Immediately after the riots, he was banned off of Twitter and Facebook. Twitter's ban was permanent, while Facebook's was temporary pending an investigation, although Facebook ended up extending the ban further. After these two major companies banned Trump, he was also banned from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and even Pinterest. Trump has tried suing the platforms to get his profiles back, and he is currently in litigation with all the major platforms, so I guess we'll see what happens. And at number 9, Rihanna. So it seems that even Rihanna is not above the rules, and the singer was temporarily banned off Instagram after she posted a photo to the platform that violated their terms of service. The photo in question showed a lot of her backside, if you catch my drift, The account was quickly reactivated, however said photo was removed from her profile. Rihanna is not the last celebrity who was temporarily banned from the platform for a little misstep, and she has been vocal against their restrictions. And at number 8, Courtney Love. Singer Courtney Love was suspended off Twitter in 2011 after she made some defamatory comments about fashion designer Dawn Simorangkir. Apparently back in 2009, Love took to just about every social media platform, especially Twitter, to rant about Simorangkir, who was reportedly, quote, demanding payment for a few $1,000s worth of clothes. But things turned nasty fast, and she at one point accused the designer of being a sex worker. Simorangkir ultimately took the singer to court, and Love's feed was temporarily suspended ahead of trial in early 2011. According to Time, the singer settled the case for nearly $450,000. And this was actually not the last time one of her tweets got her in a lawsuit either. And at number 7, Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks has been somewhat of a cyberbully online for years, so it's not a shock that she ended up getting banned because of it. She had come after a number of celebrities over the years, but when she attacked Zayn Malik using racist and homophobic slurs, she was kicked off the platform. This all took place in 2016, and insiders from Twitter state she almost got banned after some controversial comments about Sarah Palin. However, this was the final straw. After the ban, she tried to get back on using a different account, but that was also suspended. And at number 6, Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan has been a very vocal figure in the Me Too movement, and she was the first celebrity to call out Harvey Weinstein by name. She was first banned by Twitter in 2016 when she tweeted about an anonymous studio head whose nasty behavior was, quote, an open secret in Hollywood/the media. This tweet caught the attention of Ronan Farrow, who later published a New York Times report on it. Years later, when the report was published and hundreds of other women came forward, actor Ben Affleck decided to tweet out in disgust of Weinstein, which a lot of people were doing at the time. But this sent McGowan into a long rant, alleging that Affleck had known about Weinstein's bad behavior for years. She ended up tweeting for Affleck to F off, but was not suspended until she posted someone's phone number on the platform. She got her account back once it was deleted. Halfway number 5, Clint Eastwood. After Trump won the 2016 election, Clint Eastwood was incredibly happy about it and tweeted out his delight about the win. But many were scratching their heads when his account was later suspended. Some felt the platform was limiting his free speech or even showing a liberal bias. But there was actually more to the story, and it was revealed that he wasn't suspended because of his support for Trump, but because the account wasn't actually Clint Eastwood's. I guess it was just an imposter that was pretending to be him. However, if the account wasn't verified, which I'm kind of assuming it wasn't, I don't know why anyone would really think it's actually Clint Eastwood. I mean, come on now, but okay. And at number 4, Chelsea Handler. This case of suspension was very similar to Rihanna's, and Handler got in trouble on Instagram after she posted a racy photo that violated their terms of service. This took place in 2014 when she posted a topless photo of herself riding a horse. The image apparently broke Instagram's rules about nudity, which doesn't allow women to show their nipples. However, men are allowed to. This decision has drawn a lot of criticism from influencers and celebrities alike, who pointed out the blatant double standard of the policy. Even though Handler was vocal against the decision, the photo was eventually deleted. And at number 3, Adele. This is probably the funniest case of banning because Adele decided to actually ban herself from Twitter. And in this day and age of cancel culture, she definitely made the right decision. And it seems that her thinking was along these lines, and when asked about the decision, she said she felt like she was getting too close to tweeting something inappropriate. And taking herself off the platform was the best way to avoid getting in trouble while she's drunk. Now, instead of being off the platform, her Twitter account is run by her team, who tweet and post for her. And at number 2, PewDiePie. PewDiePie is YouTube's biggest star, but he also has a lot of controversy under his belt. One of these is his Twitter suspension. Back in 2016, the YouTuber had his Twitter temporarily suspended, and his verification was even stripped because he made a joke about joining ISIS with another YouTuber. But that wasn't the first of his controversies. He also got massive backlash after he posted a video to his channel that showed a sign with an anti-Semitic message. This video was not only taken down by the platform, but the incident got his YouTube Red series cancelled. He was also dropped from the partner program. After all the fallout from the incident, PewDiePie decided to post less on YouTube and started streaming on sites like Twitch. And finally, number 1, Kanye West. With all the insane rants Kanye posts on Twitter, it's no wonder that he's been suspended on the platform. But instead of being suspended for the things that he has said, Kanye actually got suspended in 2020 after he tweeted out the personal phone number of the Forbes editor at the time. This is obviously doxing and is against Twitter's terms. The ban for this offense lasted less than 12 hours, and he hopped right back on after. Around the time he released the phone number, he also posted photos of his recording contract on Twitter so that his fans could see the arrangement. This was around the time he was fighting for his own masters, and he felt he was going to get killed for speaking out against big names in the industry.
Number 10. Gwyneth Paltrow. The founder of Goop, one of the leading ladies of the MCU, and an avid disliker of the Metropolitan Gala. After attending the event a handful of times in the past, it's always left something to be desired. In an interview with the Kyle and Jackie O show, Paltrow admitted that the gala sucked, adding that it seems like it's the best thing in the world. People always think, oh my god, it's gonna be so glamorous and amazing, there's so many celebrities. But then you show up, it's boiling hot, it's crowded beyond belief, and everyone is apparently just shoving you. She also added that she felt that everyone was a little bit too old to be dressed up in punk clothes, whatever that means. For a few years, she openly boycotted the event, but eventually decided to attend. She's been an on and off again attendee for many years, but so far it's looking like she might sit out the next one. Perhaps she's too busy making candles that smell like her nether regions. That's a real thing that actually exists, and it supposedly smells like spicy orange, which really does not sound appetizing. Someone please take her to a doctor. Number 9. Demi Lovato. Demi's views on the Met Gala are chock full of expletives and fun no-no words, so if you want to know the specific thing she said, check out her interview with Billboard from 2018. It's very fun. Speaking as honestly as she could in regards to the event, she revealed that it was terrible and there were no plans for her to attend any future dates. In the interview, she claimed that the experience was terrible, going on to say that one particular celebrity was a complete see you next Tuesday and miserable to be around. It was a very cliquey event, kind of like that scene in Mean Girls when they're in the cafeteria. Great movie, check out the musical when it comes out. According to Demi, the entire thing was just uncomfortable and she just really wanted some no-no juice. At the time, Demi was actively sober and revealed that immediately following this event, she went to an AA meeting. She changed clothes but still had diamonds on, million-dollar diamonds in a room full of people struggling with substance issues, and she could relate more to everyone in that room over the plastic fake dolls that she claimed to see at the Met Gala. Since then, she has steered clear from attending the events and kind of banned herself by saying all that mean stuff, but sounds like it could be way worse. Number 8. Russell Brand. For obvious reasons, Russell Brand is banned from most events and has been for a while now. Even before the controversy that came up this year, this dude has been unwelcome at royal events, awards shows, birthday parties, who knows. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm sorry to be the one to inform you that Russell Brand is secretly a terrible person. The man, known best as a comedian, bringer of joy, has secretly been manipulative, aggressive, and at times violent to his ex-partners. Following the news that a documentary about his life and career was set to release on BBC's Channel 4, several complaints were filed alleging that Russell had mistreated them during their time together. In fact, there were a few more added to that list just earlier today. The allegations were actually reinforced by Russell's ex-fiancée, Katy Perry. They dated for over a year, and in that time she came to learn that Russell was short-tempered, opinionated, and stubborn, qualities that make a man a terrible person. Russell's career was cancelled and he is currently awaiting a trial, so something tells me that he's not going to be attending the Met Gala in 2024. Number 7. Zayn Malik. In 2016, Zayn Malik attended the Met Gala. That year's theme was Manus Ex Machina. This was the event that saw him make a red carpet debut with his girlfriend Gigi Hadid as they became publicly official. He was dressed in a Versace suit with a metal arm, something, as it turns out, that was meant to be a meme at the event. In the past few years, Zayn has made his opinions on the Met Gala known. That opinion? Well, he hates the Met Gala. In 2016, he was wearing the metal arm as a shout out to his favorite Mortal Kombat character, Jax, the dude with the big metal arms. He finds the entire thing to be one big, hey, look at me contest. In an interview from 2018, he said that he did go, but it wasn't to be serious, it was literally just to make fun of the entire thing. This might be why in the past his girlfriend Gigi has attended by herself. He understands why people may enjoy the show, but it's just not for him. While he is not banned from attending, the chances that he's gonna change his mind pretty unlikely. Number 6. Tina Fey. Tina Fey, the creator of the upcoming Mean Girls reboot, not marketed as a musical, is a very public advocate for not attending the Met Gala. She only attended the event once in her entire career, and it was apparently just terrible. According to an interview with David Letterman from 2015, Tina believed that the entire event was a big jerk parade. She said that she went and that it was beautiful, like the venue was insane, but there was a jerk from every walk of life wearing something ridiculous. She told Letterman it was just just exhausting and uncomfortable the entire time. You walk up a set of massive steps, and she went ahead and dragged her husband along with her to the event, something that she is apparently still in trouble for to this day. Tina Fey will not be attending this year's gala. In case you were unaware, she's too busy promoting Mean Girls the Musical, a modern adaptation of her original film from 20 years ago. Yeah, Mean Girls is a 20-year-old movie. Do you feel old yet? I had the chance to see it on stage in Toronto, and I am a strong advocate for this movie. Go check it out. It's great. No one paid me to say that. Tina Fey is just fantastic, and it features the original cast, so that's pretty cool. Number 5, Jonah Hill. Jonah was once the funniest man in town, shifting his efforts to the world of drama and creating a career that allowed him to be in both. Unfortunately for any fans of Jonah, some info came out this year that called his character into question. Reminder, this isn't my opinion, okay? These are just things that happened in the world and are public knowledge. An ex-girlfriend of Jonah's posted screenshots from past conversations, and the conversations ranged from Jonah asking her just to tone down the photos that she was posting on Instagram to asking her to not do her job. For those of you who don't know, his ex Sarah was a surfing instructor, and Jonah was asking her to not surf with men while she was working, and that she should wear more than a bikini while she did so. When Sarah released these screenshots, she underlined them, calling Jonah a narcissistic misogynist, but also claimed she didn't want to ruin anyone's reputation, so I'm not really sure what happened there. Since the messages have been released, there's been a massive online debate as to where Jonah stands in the eyes of the public. Some feel that canceling him entirely is just a bit much, and that compared to some of the other scandals in Hollywood, especially from this past year, Jonah is relatively chill. Others want his name wiped from the face of the earth, never to be heard from again. Give and take. Okay, I personally have no horse in this race, but something tells me that Jonah's not going to be attending the Met Gala in 2024, just to be safe. Number 4, Jared Leto. Last year's Met Gala saw a slew of fashionistas taking the stage, celebrities dressed left and right in their best and brightest. Jared did something a bit different. Now, last year was a celebration of the fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld, and be mad at me all you want for mispronouncing his name, okay? It doesn't change anything. Not only was it a Karl theme, but his cat as well. The cat part was taken a bit too seriously by a few people. Doja Cat appeared in prosthetics and diamonds, Lil Nas was painted silver and made to look like a big sparkly cat, but it was Jared that made a staple. He showed up wearing a full cat costume, looking like a mascot for the Met Gala. It featured large blue eyes, and for the first few minutes, no one really knew if it was actually Jared underneath the mask, so when he took it off, the response was positive. Jared is welcome to attend the 2024 red carpet, but he has been warned to not cover his face this time around, as it was a bit of a security nightmare. The theme for this year is Sleeping Beauty's reawakening fashion, so for all we know, Jared's gonna show up in a clear plastic coffin or something. Number 3, Kanye West. Kanye's actually been banned from attending Met Galas many times in the past. Since the early days of the 2010s, Kanye has slowly turned himself into a social pariah. Of course, we all know about the anti-Semitic tweets, the political jazz, and all that stuff, but behind the scenes, even worse things were going down. Fashion-wise, there is a chance that Kanye is being left out this year because of his shoes! I'm sorry, Yeezys look weird to me, okay? I know, that's an unpopular opinion. Granted, I have very little fashion sense, so take that with a grain of salt. Kanye has been banned from several events and venues across the globe. There are even full countries that this man is unwelcome to step foot into. The fact that the Met Gala does not want him to attend is no surprise. Kanye is slowly building up a reputation as a good dad and a good man again, but who knows what will really go down with Kanye this year. Number 2, Lily Reinhart. During the Met Gala in 2022, Lily spoke out about the extreme diet that Kim Kardashian did in order to fit into her dress, which was once worn by Marilyn Monroe. Now, while chatting with W Magazine, she said that attending the Met Gala was fun, but after going again this year, she didn't think that she was going to be invited back. She said a certain something about a certain person in a certain dress, and let's just say the media did not enjoy that. Now, while people don't enjoy being commented about in the press, Kim Kardashian especially did not enjoy it. When people speak about you in the press, it needs to be a true representation about how you feel, and she said that whether she had 100 followers or 100 million followers, Lily criticized it wouldn't make much of a difference to her night. Lily criticized Kim's extreme diet and said to openly admitting to starve yourself for the sake of the Met Gala when you know very well the millions of young men and women will be looking up to you is a terrible thing to do. The ignorance is otherworldly and disgusting, which is true. That's the reason that a lot of people took issue with what Kim Kardashian did at the Met Gala that year. The controversy was not only about the fact that she lost weight to get into a dress, it was about the fact that she gave a lengthy interview about it and tried to make it seem like a good thing. Number 1, Jamila Jamil. In October of last year, the actress called out the Met Gala for their 2023 theme, which celebrated Karl Lagerfeld, Linger, who cares? She wrote that this man was indeed supremely talented, but used his platform in such a distinctly hateful way, mostly towards women, so repeatedly and up until the last years of his life. He showed no remorse, offering no atonement, no apology, no help to the groups, nothing, no explanation for the cruel outbursts. Is just not a great guy. People who are in same orientation couples, who wanted to adopt people. She's not a great person, okay? Jamila went on to list the ways in which she believes that Karl was problematic and helpful to certain social movements. She said, why is it that this is the man that we celebrate when there are amazing designers out there who aren't bigoted white men? What happened to everyone's principles and advocacy? You don't get to stand for justice in these areas and then attend the celebration of someone who revealed his own public disdain for marginalized people. However you characterize the German fashion designer, it's true that this year's event will honor him. Apart from being a fashion legend, he was also known as someone who tells it like it is, even if that brought about controversy. I don't know. Karl sounds like a pretty bad dude, and I don't understand why we celebrated that.
Coming at number 10, we have Will Smith. So last year, actor Will Smith was issued a 10-year ban by the Film Academy after he disrupted the recent 94th Oscars by slapping presenter Chris Rock on the stage. The ban prohibits Smith from attending all Academy-related events, both virtual and in person, for a period of 10 years. It doesn't, however, make him ineligible for nominations at the Oscars. Smith had taken offense to a joke Chris made about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and he then walked up on the stage and in a shocking moment hit the comedian across the face. Less than an hour later, Will would then win the Oscar for Best Actor, and in his speech he would apologize for his fellow nominees in the Academy. A day later, he issued a public apology to Rock, and sometime after that, he announced his resignation from the Academy. The Academy would then come out with a statement and said the 94th Oscars was meant to be a celebration of many individuals in our community who did incredible work this past year. However, those moments were overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage. The actor then went on to accept the decision, which means he will no longer be able to attend this year's ceremony as a presenter, as in the tradition of the Oscars. While the decision to expel a member isn't unheard of before it happened to Smith, there have actually been a handful of members expelled by the Academy. Coming at number 9, we have Paris Hilton. While Paris Hilton tends to be in attendance at almost every party, fashion show, and awards, even Paris Hilton reportedly was banned from attending the Oscars since 2008. And when the socialite first heard of the news, she surely wasn't happy about it, and she was actually devastated that she couldn't attend the prestigious award event. With a source claiming that Paris cried a lot when she found out she was banned from the Oscars, it would also be noticed that Paris was desperate to be taken seriously as an actress, and she hoped she would be able to network with the film bods. Word on the block is Paris even spent $2 million on a dress for the ceremony back in 2008 before she heard about her ban, which left her feeling so embarrassed to attend the Oscars after show parties, and even considering going in disguise due to her ban. She was even tempted to go to the parties afterwards but wear her trademark wig to save her dignity. Said that Paris would even find herself being snubbed from the event in a bid to prevent the event from turning into a down market scrum. Hi my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Miley Cyrus. Have you ever noticed that Miley Cyrus has been pretty much missing from all the award shows lately? Well, back in 2020, Miley would post a clip of herself from the 2013 MTV EMAs, where she would be shown taking out a pre-roll from her black Chanel clutch and lighting it up on stage in the middle of her presenting duties. While sporting a bodysuit and a furry coat, she then oozed an effort amount of cool when she did the unthinkable during the show. With Miley taking a clip and posting it, she would caption the clip by saying, "Wonder why I'm not invited to award shows anymore." While the star hasn't chosen to elaborate on the video, it certainly isn't really clear if she was joking or not, but it has been some time that we've seen Miley hitting up the award shows. And it looked like her celebrity friends, like designer Alexander Wang, found the dig humorous enough. He even told the wild child to never change. Even Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa would chime in to let Miley know if she ever had an award show, she would have the singer there. Whether it's true or not, we love a good Miley presenting the celebrations, as she always comes comes out to slay. Number 7, Kevin Spacey. After allegations made by more than 30 different individuals that Kevin Spacey had made 30 unwanted advances towards younger men, in 2017, BuzzFeed would publish allegations made by Anthony Rapp that said Kevin had made some unwanted advances towards Rapp when he was only 14. And since, more than 30 people have come forward with their own allegations against Spacey, with accounts ranging from a number of different allegations. Bringing the lawsuit to light would stand as part of a larger movement to stand up against all forms of violence. Rapp claimed that Spacey climbed on top of him at a party in New York City when he was younger. Kevin would then gladly deny Rapp's allegations, and his lawyers would create this story, in which in a large part of the made-up story would claim that Anthony was jealous of Spacey's career in the entertainment industry. And then, when more allegations started to come forward, Kevin would finally admit to his actions, but said it was okay because he was gay. Since the allegations have come forward, Kevin is now blacklisted from Hollywood, and he will no longer be allowed to attend any award shows anytime soon. Number 6, Adam Kimmel. Cinematographer Adam Kimmel is known for his work on Lars in The Real Girl. However, in 2021, Adam would find himself being expelled from the Academy following the emergence of his history after allegations came forward about his misconduct with women. Adam had been arrested twice. Both times, the allegations involved a younger female. In 2003, when he was 43 years old, he would plead guilty to making unwanted advances to a girl in New York who was around 15 and 16 years old. In 2010, Kimmel would be arrested again in Connecticut for 4th degree of unwanted advancements involving a younger person and failure to register as a SO. Due to the crimes and the hurt he inflicted on a handful of younger women, the Academy saw fit to expel Adam from the Academy and permanently place a ban on him from attending any Academy Awards. While the Academy strives on protecting the safety of their performers and guests, they couldn't guarantee that Adam wouldn't be a threat to any female in the audience, and they couldn't justify his actions and decided that he should be banned from attending the ceremonies going forward. But the fact that his crimes happened between 2003 and 2010 and the Academy still allowed him to attend the ceremonies until 2021 is actually pretty messed up. Number 5, Kevin Hart. After an old controversy from 2018 continued to dominate the headlines in 2019 after he was announced as being the host for the 2019 Academy Awards, comedian Kevin Hart publicly stepped down from his gig when a series of old homophobic tweets resurfaced. Kevin's anti-gay ideology wasn't exactly a secret before, as he devoted part of his 2010 stand-up special to describe his terror that his son would turn out to be gay and his intention to prevent it however he could. And after that year, you think Hollywood might have done some Twitter search before naming its host. In Kevin's response just hours before stepping down, he would not apologize, and he would say in a video, "Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. I want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify or explain the past. Then you do. I'm the wrong guy, man. I'm in a great place, a great mature place, where all I do is spread positivity." 6 hours later though, he would reconsider and he would finally step down from his hosting gig, and then he would make a formal apology to the LGBTQ community, and you probably won't see him attending any award shows anytime soon. Number 4, Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is another woman banned from the Oscars like Paris Hilton in an attempt for the award ceremony to keep things more classy. Except everything about Pamela Anderson is actually pretty classy except for her R-rated tape. Sources would confirm that Pamela would be banned from attending the ceremony, so the Academy officials could prevent the evening from turning into a downmarket scrum. The inside source would also continue to say that the Academy plans to focus more on those people who have worked in the film industry for years, not people who were merely celebrities in other areas. But Pamela has been in the industry since 1991, when she landed her most major acting gig on Baywatch and gave us the iconic red bathing suit look. So to say that she couldn't be at the Oscars because she wasn't in the film industry for years would just be absurd. But then other sources would come forward to say the decision to ban certain stars is down to the fact that Hollywood's Kodak Theater holds less than half the capacity of the previous venue, and even high-profile stars are struggling to secure tickets to the event. But if that's the real case, why would the Academy even think it was a good idea to downgrade their venue to one of the biggest award shows of the year? Number 3, Carmine Carditi. The Godfather star Carmine Carditi was banned from the Oscars after he was summoned by the FBI. While Carmine's strength as an actor got him steady work for many years, eventually earning him his membership in the Academy, as a member he was actually pretty inappropriate to viewers. Eventually, trouble would come to town when Russell Prague visited Chicago and was introduced to Carmine by another member of the Godfather Part 3 cast. When Carmine mentioned that he was able to watch screeners for the latest film, Russell was somehow able to talk him into sharing these screeners with him. As part of Carmine's agreement with the Academy, this was not allowed. Even so, Carmine decided to still go along with it as he wanted to share his privileged position with a friend. This would work out well for time, but things quickly began to spiral out of control when the FBI got involved. Rather than a harmless movie fan Carmine thought Russell was, he actually turned out to be one of the most notorious film pirates in the country. Instead of watching the movies, he would copy them and distribute them to the internet. With both men being taken in by the FBI, Carmine would find himself being sued by Columbia Pictures and Warner Brothers, and he would become the first person ever banned from the Academy. Number 2, Roman Polanski. Movie director Roman Polanski would end up being expelled from the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences over charges of unwanted advances on younger women. Back in August of 2020, Roman would lose a court bid to be reinstated as a member. Roman, who won an Oscar in 2003, would be banned by the Academy in May 2018 because of a long-standing criminal case which dates all the way back to 1977. The director then argued in a civil lawsuit he was denied by the Academy when it decided to expel him under a code of conduct drawn up in response to his unwanted advancement misconduct allegations against dozens in the entertainment industry. The Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mary H. Strobel wrote in a ruling that Polanski was given the opportunity to present any evidence he deemed relevant to the Academy, including a lengthy brief from his attorney and a video statement. While Roman has continued to deny his misconduct, he did win an Oscar in 2003 for The Pianist. But I think we were all pleased when the court confirmed that the Academy's procedure to ban him from the awards ceremony was both fair and reasonable. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Britney Spears. Britney Spears has found herself being barred from the Oscars since 2005, and since she's even been banned from attending all the celebrity-filled pre-Oscar parties. While Britney has been desperate to dress up and snare an invite to one of several glitzy bashes that are happening across LA, she's been met with a stony and embarrassing silence from the organizers. Britney is definitely still a big name in Hollywood, and a lot of people in town know her for all the wrong reasons. While the Oscars has chosen to snub her from pretty much anything, they claim it's because she's a car crash waiting to happen, and organizers don't want to take the risk of her showing up and creating a scene. With every celebrity battling to secure the most high-profile guest, Britney is being seen as a gamble no one wants to take, with one source saying her presence at any party would instantly generate lots of publicity, but while it's tempting to send out an invite, it's a hassle they don't really want. There's also still been a mounting concern among fellow A-listers of Britney's mental health, and they feel like the parties would still be too much for Britney, and her fragile state might just tip her over the edge if she was to attend. While Britney was definitely devastated over the snubs, she definitely has a lot to look forward to as she's back in the studio creating some major bangers.
First up on the list is a stunt pulled by Marlon Brando that is just as topical today as it was back in the early 1970s, 1973 to be exact. While Marlon Brando isn't the first person to decline their Oscar for various reasons, his snubbing of the ceremony following his iconic role in The Godfather was certainly one of the most memorable. Brando was considered a shoo-in for the winner of Best Actor, and he had already taken home the Best Actor statue once before for his role in the 1955 movie On the Waterfront. However, despite what many would consider this to be a huge honor for the actor, he decided to not even attend the ceremony. Instead, he sent Native American actor and activist Saheen Littlefeather on stage to decline the award on his behalf. He did it in protest of the way that Native Americans have been treated in the United States. The 1973 awards were the first time that the show had been broadcast internationally, and over 85 million people watched Littlefeather's passionate speech, which came just a month into the standoff between Native American activists and the cops after police killed a Lakota man at the Wounded Knee Reserve in South Dakota. Next up on the list is the 1974 Academy Awards ceremony, when an English teacher named Robert Opal stripped down and ran on stage while Elizabeth Taylor was being introduced for an award. So Robert ran on stage completely naked and sprinted around for a bit. After the stunt had occurred, the host at the time quipped, quote, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen." But isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings? Luckily for Opal, he was able to evade arrest, probably because everyone thought the stunt was hilarious. Instead, he was invited backstage to explain himself. Turns out the streaking was part of Opal's commentary on the way society has become too conformist. Opal, who owned a Los Angeles gallery known for showcasing homoerotic art, also streaked at the Los Angeles City Council meeting. Next up on the list is a horrifyingly cringy musical number that actor Rob Lowe did with a Snow White impersonator. This happened during the 1989 Oscars, which was considered a year of many firsts. The first time the ceremony used the famous red carpet, first time the term, quote, "and the Oscar goes to" was used, and the first time the show didn't have a host. Instead of a host opening the awards, it was Rob Lowe and Snow White singing an 11-minute version of Tina Turner's track Proud Mary, with the lyrics tweaked to fit the show's theme. The performance was super awkward and cringy, but the scandal part comes from it also being illegal. The performance prompted Disney Studios to file a copyright infringement lawsuit against the Academy for using Snow White's image without permission. On top of that, a group of 17 heavyweight actors wrote in to write a scathing letter to the Academy, calling the performance an embarrassment to the people who were nominated. Yikes. Next on the list is the Oscars that took place in the year 2000. After winning Best Supporting Actress for her role in Girl Interrupted, Angelina Jolie and her brother James Haven shocked the crowd super uncomfortably when they locked lips at the Vanity Fair after-party. During her acceptance speech for the role, Jolie shouted out her brother with the equally uncomfortable line, quote, "I'm in shock and I'm so in love with my brother right now. He just held me and said he loved me, and I know he's so happy for me, and thank you for that." The kiss immediately sparked headlines, which Jolie called pathetic. She later said that the siblings had been visiting their mother, who had cancer, in the hospital that day, and the kiss and declaration of love had just been part of her reaction to the day's emotional ups and downs. Next up on the docket is the time that Bjork made international headlines for her bizarre and iconic dress at the 2001 Academy Awards ceremony. While the dress certainly made a statement on its own, the quirky artist took it one step further by pretending to lay an egg on the red carpet. She had a bunch of ostrich eggs and she just left them all over the red carpet, and reportedly also left one in the women's bathroom while inside the ceremony. Her outfit was so memorable that it is now a part of an exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art. Next on the list is the 2003 Oscars, and more specifically when Michael Moore took to the stage after his win for the Best Documentary category. While we've all heard the music start to kick up when the acceptance speech goes on for a tad too long, Michael Moore was well within his time slot when he had to be cut off. That's because, like the political commentator he is, he directly attacked George W. Bush for the unnecessary invasion of Iraq. Quote, "We live in a time where we have a man sending us to a war for fictitious reasons. Shame on you, Mr. Bush, shame on you." He was met with boos from the audience and was quickly played off stage. Ironic, honestly, especially when Michael Moore was criticizing presidents long before it was okay to do so, and the same people who booed him off stage ribbed future presidents at other award shows. Just shows the shallowness of the whole thing. Next up is the 2015 Oscars when John Travolta hopped onto the Oscar stage to introduce Idina Menzel, who voiced Princess Elsa in the Disney Frozen movie. People were obsessed with Frozen during this time, and it instantly became a classic in the Disney canon. The Frozen song Let It Go had been nominated for Best Original Song, which meant that Idina would be performing the song for the ceremony. When John Travolta was set to introduce her, he inexplicably said, quote, "The wickedly talented, one and only Adele Dazeem." Travolta later said that seconds before he was set to go on stage, he ran into Goldie Hawn and missed the announcement that the producers had changed the spelling of Menzel's name on the teleprompter to a phonetic version that was supposed to be easier to pronounce. Luckily, Menzel was a pretty good sport about the whole thing. She reunited with Travolta at the next year's ceremony. Next up is the infamous 2017 Best Picture announcement mix-up. At the very end of the ceremony, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty took to the stage to reveal the night's big-ticket Best Picture winner. All was going smoothly until Beatty went to read the winner. He looked noticeably confused, and some wondered if he was having a hard time seeing the teleprompter. He held the card out to Dunaway, who assumed he was changing up the script and allowing her to read out the winner. She announced La La Land, and the cast and crew filed on stage to celebrate. Backstage, Academy accountants from PricewaterhouseCoopers sprung into action and alerted production that the wrong envelope had been given and that Moonlight actually had won Best Picture. Stage managers scurried on stage to correct the gaffe. So what happened? Turns out Beattie had been handed an extra Best Actress envelope, which had gone to Emma Stone from La La Land, instead of the one labeled Best Picture. A production error earlier in the day meant that they had run out of time to rehearse the last few awards prior to showtime, which could have contributed to the mistake. Oopsies. Next on the list is the 2020 Oscars, where the much-deserving film Parasite had just been announced as the Best Picture of the year. It marked the first time that a non-English language film took home the top honor. When the cast and crew headed on stage to accept the award, which was one of the 6 the movie won through the night, co-producer Coxon A first took the mic and spoke for 45 seconds before turning things over to Mikey Lee, the film's other producer. But before Lee got to deliver her speech, the lights went down on the stage and cameras focused on Jane Fonda, who was slated to deliver the night's closing remarks. The audience was instantly outraged, and stars like Tom Hanks and Charlize Theron, who were sitting in the front row, started chanting "Up, up" to persuade the showrunners to turn the attention back to Parasite. Luckily, the cheers worked and Lee was able to deliver her remarks, but it didn't stop tons of outrage from coming out in reaction to the rude dismissal. And now, finally, we come to the Oscars that were literally just held a few days ago with another big scandal. As Chris Rock took to the stage to present the award for Best Documentary, the comedian made a few jabs at Hollywood and its actors. One such jab was toward Jada Pinkett Smith, who suffers from alopecia. Basically, it was a joke aimed at her being bald, to which Jada's husband, Will Smith obviously, rushes the stage and slaps the words right out of Chris Rock's mouth. Chris was obviously super shocked, and Will Smith sat back in his seat but shouted back at Chris not to talk badly on his wife. Everyone in the crowd was super stunned, obviously. A fight has never broken out on the Oscars stage before. And it was just super sweet chicken soup for my middle class soul.
And at number 10, Jennifer Lawrence. This is one you know we had to include. Jen is known for her quirky and down-to-earth personality and not taking herself too seriously. She's also quite the klutz, which she proved after she tripped while walking up to the stage to accept her Oscar for Best Actress in 2013. After she got up to the stage, the crowd gave her a standing ovation, and she said, quote, "You guys are just standing because you feel bad that I fell, and that's really embarrassing." And this isn't the only time that Jennifer has fallen. She actually fell at the Oscars again while on the red carpet a few years later. This Oscars klutziness has caused some to think she's just faking it all for press.
At number 9, Hattie McDaniel. Back in 1940, legendary actress Hattie McDaniel was nominated for an Academy Award for her work in Gone with the Wind, and she actually ended up winning the Oscar. However, because of segregation at the time, she was almost unable to accept the award because she was black, and they almost didn't let her attend the ceremony. Back then, the venue where the award ceremony was held was a whites-only establishment, so people from the studio that made the film had to pull a lot of strings to get the actress in the building, and even then she wasn't allowed to sit with the rest of the cast of Gone with the Wind. Instead, she was seated in the far corner of the venue away from everyone else, but as long as she was there and able to accept the award, that was enough. She made history that night and caused scandal, but it just showed Hollywood that racism will never win.
And at number 8, Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. The whole world fell in love with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper when they were starring in the movie A Star Is Born. The on-screen chemistry between the pair was so amazing, many fans thought there was definitely a real connection between them. The rumors about these two got even crazier when the pair performed a ballad from the movie at the 2019 Oscars, and the chemistry during the performance was hard to deny. Lady Gaga had also recently broke up with her fiance Christian Carino around this time, leading many to think it was because of jealousy. And then during their performance, Bradley's longtime girlfriend Irina Shayk was sitting in the audience, which made things even more awkward. The whole situation got a ton of buzz for the movie, but might have had real-world consequences as Irina and Bradley split up shortly after.
At number 7, John Travolta. Now, I wouldn't really call this one a scandal per se, but it did have a lot of people talking and laughing about it, so I just had to include it. In 2014, John Travolta created one heck of a meme, and you probably remember it. At the Oscars that year, Idina Menzel was supposed to perform Let It Go from the movie Frozen, which was kind of the hottest movie at the time, and John Travolta was supposed to introduce her to the stage. Well, instead of introducing Idina, he instead welcomed someone named Adele Dazeem.
Gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen. Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
This mishap was incredibly embarrassing for both parties as it created memes within minutes and was even the subject of a John Travolta name generator where it would scrabble your name like Adele Dazeem. Even though it was super cringy, there's actually an explanation for the whole unfortunate ordeal. According to John, Idina's name had been changed on the teleprompter at the last minute so that it was spelled phonetically because they didn't want to risk him messing it up. John hadn't rehearsed with the name spelt like that, so rather than the change help him out, it actually just made things so much worse, and Adele Dazeem was born.
And at number 6, Eminem. In 2003, the Oscars category for Best Original Song was jam-packed with big contenders, including the fan favorite Eminem track Lose Yourself from 8 Mile. Lose Yourself actually ended up winning the award, and nobody was more shocked than the rapper himself. After he won, Eminem did not get up on stage, and one of his other collaborators accepted the award on his behalf, saying that Eminem was not able to make it that night. But the truth is that Eminem was so convinced he would not win the award, he didn't bother to show up. In an interview later, he was asked about that night, and Marshall admitted that he was actually asleep when it was announced that he won, which I'm sure the Oscars were not happy about.
At number 5, Ryan Seacrest. This one is more of a personal scandal than a high profile one, but I'm gonna tell you about it because my boy Ryan was super hurt by it. Imagine being invited to one of Hollywood's biggest events just to get kicked out moments after you arrive. Well, this is basically what happened to Ryan Seacrest as he was invited to the Oscars award ceremony one year and was kicked out of the awards show shortly afterwards. According to Ryan, he was invited to the award show to provide the segue from the pre-show event to the main award show, which in itself is a pretty big honor, but after he completed his task, he went to go find a seat because he assumed that he would be staying for the rest of the show, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. While he was looking for a seat, he was approached by the event's ushers and managers and was told, quote, "Mr. Seacrest, your car is ready." He was a little confused and was like, no, what do you mean? I just opened the show," to which they replied with, quote, "We don't have a ticket for you, Ryan." He continued recounting that experience saying, quote, "They put me in a car and they drove me out, and the next thing I know, I'm on Hollywood Boulevard going away from the Oscars, and the LAPD are on the corner, the windows down, and they say, 'Hey Ryan, you're going the wrong way,' and I say, 'No, I'm going the right way.' They sent me home to watch on television like everyone else." He was pretty butthurt about it and maybe still holds a grudge for that, but at least he was able to get comfy at home.
And at number 4, the 1974 Oscar streaker. This one's a little less known, but since most award shows are live broadcasts, it's understandable that some people might try and take advantage. That's exactly what happened at the 1974 Oscars when a man decided to run naked through the broadcast. The man even flashed a peace sign while he ran past the presenter, David Niven. Niven was hardly fazed and responded by saying, quote, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen, but isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings." And honestly, probably the shadiest thing that I've ever heard.
At number 3, Sean Penn. Actor Sean Penn got into a bit of a scandal at the 2015 Academy Awards. The actor was announcing the award for Best Picture, but before reading the name of the winner, Alejandro G. Iñárritu, he made a joke that definitely did not land and actually offended quite a few people. Before announcing Alejandro as the winner, Sean joked saying, quote, "Who gave this son of a B a green card?" Sean's joke was seen as highly offensive and racist because of Alejandro's background, as one person online explained, quote, "Struggles people endure for immigration justice are not punchlines." As Alejandro is Mexican, the joke definitely was uncalled for and inappropriate. Some defended Sean, saying that he had only made the joke because they had been friends for about a decade, but others made the argument that, quote, "A director of color can't accept an Oscar without being the butt of a racist joke." The award show was supposed to be a scandal-free evening, but instead news outlets took to broadcasting Sean's offensive remark.
And at number 2, Marissa Tomei. Before we had the infamous Moonlight La La Land mix-up, there was a popular conspiracy theory going around claiming that Marissa Tomei did not actually win her 1993 Oscar. Instead, the presenter just said the wrong name and everyone went along with it. This theory was started because many were shocked to see that Tomei had won instead of her well-established competition. As well, following the event, The Hollywood Reporter printed a blind item about rumors that she hadn't really won. They claimed the presenter, Jack Palance, was too intoxicated to read it right, so he just read the last name as the winner. It was such a big rumor the Academy had to deny it many times. After the La La Land mix-up, we know that if she didn't really win, someone would have made it right.
And finally in at number 1, Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is quite the jokester and is known for his wild characters. From Bruno to Borat, he seems to almost always be in character, and this was seemingly no exception at the Academy Awards in 2012. Sacha was at the event and walked the red carpet in character as Admiral General Shahbaz Al-Addin from his film The Dictator, and along with being accompanied by 2 bodyguards, he had a prop with him, a golden urn filled with the pretend the ashes of North Korean Premier Kim Jong-il. While walking the red carpet, he stopped to be interviewed by Ryan Seacrest, and then this happened.
The interesting thing is it's actually made by South Korea. No, sorry. You've got Kim Jong. You've got Kim Jong-il.
Sasha dumped the ashes on Ryan, ruining his suit and causing quite a scene at the event. Weeks later, we found out that Sasha's original target was actually George Clooney, but since it was a pretty big night for him, they skipped Clooney and the unfortunate prank landed on Ryan instead. After that, Ryan purposely steered clear of Sasha, refusing to interview him, and the Academy has been vigilant of Sasha's stunts, even though they haven't really been able to stop them since.
There was a few crazy ones in there. Also, 2 involved Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, that guy really does not have a good track record with the Oscars.
He really doesn't. I'm also just shook they kicked him out, like when you were saying that earlier. I'm like, how can you kick out Ryan Seacrest? I feel like he's A-list enough to go to the Oscars just regularly.
I know. I mean, they have seat fillers. Like,
yeah.
Couldn't he have been one of the
He could have been a seat filler.
Poor guy.
They could have put him in like the front row seat filler. You know, give him that extra title. Poor Ryan.
All the things that happen at the Oscars, like can this award show never go smoothly?
No, never.
I think it's just because it's live.
Yeah.
Nothing ever goes well when it's live.
That is really a fact. Nothing ever goes good. I mean, I forget what happened to the last one, but I just don't think it was very entertaining. I think it was some sort of, like it was slightly virtual, so those just aren't as good. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe another scandal.
Maybe another streaker.
In at number 10, Roman Polanski.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski for The Pianist.
Back in 2003, Roman Polanski had won the Oscar for directing The Pianist. However, due to him not showing up, Harrison Ford had to not only present the award, but accept it on his behalf. It's amazing that Polanski was still even considered at all for this category. After pleading guilty to having an unlawful relationship with an underage woman, he fled the US before he could be sentenced. So his status of refusal to accept the award probably came from the fact that he legally cannot be in the United States or else face jail time. He's like, no, but I'm good. We're sure that's why you're good. In at number 9, Woody Allen.
The Academy congratulates Woody Allen and accepts this award on his behalf.
Thank you.
Woody Allen has won a total of 4 Oscars but has only attended the event once. That clip was from 1978 where Allen won the Oscar for directing Annie Hall, but due to his refusal to accept, they had to accept it on his behalf. The only time that Woody Allen touched the stage at the Oscars was in 2002. It was less than 6 months following the attacks of September 11th, and Allen wanted to tell the audience that the Big Apple was still a wonderful place to make movies. After the awards, Allen said, "I have no regard for that kind of ceremony. I just don't think they know what they're doing. When you see who wins those things or who doesn't win them, you can see how meaningless this Oscar thing is." Well said, Woody, well said. You creep. In at number 8, Paul Newman.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the award for Paul Newman, the president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Mr. Robert Wise.
Paul Newman had a very understandable beef with the Academy after being nominated for the award of Best Actor 6 times and never winning. Yet year after year, Paul showed up because he was nominated and patiently waited again and again for his big win. By 1987, Newman had 2 honorary Oscars and 6 nominations to his name before finally winning for his role in The Color of Money. Although the one time that Paul actually won, he didn't show up. Later he told the Associated Press, "It's like chasing a beautiful woman for 80 years. Finally she relents and you say, 'I'm terribly sorry, I'm tired.'" I love these statements, like, damn. Again, I'll say it. Well said, Paul. Well said. In at number 7, Banksy.
Here are the nominees for Best Documentary Feature. Exit Through the Gift Shop, Banksy and Jamie DeCruz.
For those of you who don't know who Banksy is, he's an anonymous British street artist that is known around the world for his sometimes very political pieces. He's done everything from graffiti to full exhibits showcasing his work. A film was even made about him in 2010 called Exit Through the Gift Shop. It was a documentary that followed around some of the top street artists as they went through their process and tried to avoid the authorities while doing so. Banksy, being the anonymous character that he is, did appear in the film, but his face was hidden and his voice was altered to protect his identity. When the film film was nominated for an Oscar, Banksy agreed to attend, with his only request being that they do not reveal his identity. Well, the Academy did not see the value in that and refused to accommodate his request. So instead of showing up to the Oscars, Banksy did what he does best. A couple days before the event, this mural suddenly appeared in Los Angeles. The mural equates the Hollywood elite to the Galactic Empire from Star Wars. And I just love the stormtroopers working the cameras while the Oscar statue is altered to appear in the image of a true artist. More specifically, a Banksy. In at number 6, Eminem.
Goes to... Woo! The Oscar goes to Eminem, Jeff Bass, and Luis Resto for Lose Yourself.
In 2003, the category for Best Original Song was jam-packed with big contenders. Eminem's Lose Yourself from the movie 8 Mile was against Burn It Blue from Frida, Father and Daughter from the Wild Thornberrys movie, The Hands That Built America from Gangs of New York, which had Bono writing on it, and I Move On from the movie Chicago. All of these had amazing musicians behind each track, to the point where even Eminem himself didn't think that he was going to win. Eminem thought the Oscars were just for actors, so number 1, he thought, why would I win this? And number 2, he thought, why would I show up for that? In an interview later on, he was asked about that night, and Marshall admitted that he was actually asleep when he won the Oscar. Instead, his co-writer Luis Resto had to accept the award on his behalf. In at number 5, Jean-Luc Godard.
As you know, the master, unfortunately, can't be with us here tonight.
For those of you who don't know who Jean-Luc Godard is, he's a very talented filmmaker from Switzerland that has been creating since 1950. In his early days as a film critic, Godard took aim at the way that mainstream French cinema had a tradition of quality, instead of focusing on innovation and experimentation. In late 2010, the Academy wanted to give Godard an honorary Oscar, although there was a slight issue. Jean-Luc never answered their calls, and when asked during an interview what this honorary award meant to him, Godard said, "Nothing. If the Academy likes to do it, let them do it. But I think it's strange. I ask myself, which of my films have they seen? Did they actually know my films?" And later on during that same interview, he was asked why he never attended, and to that, Godard said that he doesn't have a visa to fly into the US, nor does he want to apply for one, adding, "And I don't want to fly for that long." Fair enough, Jean-Luc, fair enough. In at number 4, Katharine Hepburn.
There is Katharine Hepburn and Golden Pond.
Oh, how I love that awkward moment during all of these Oscar win announcements where the presenter says the person's name and then there's no movement, and now they just have to awkwardly stand there as someone else comes up to accept it. Hepburn has hated the Oscars for most of her career. She has been nominated for 12 Oscars and won 4 of those, although every time she has chosen to avoid the night altogether. The only time that she decided to attend was in 1974. Katharine had been asked to present producer Lawrence Weingarten with a Thalberg Award, and during the ceremony though, Katharine said, "I'm very happy that I didn't hear anyone call out, 'It's about time.' I am living proof that a person can wait 41 years to be unselfish." I mean, you gotta give it up to this strong leading lady for that kind of commitment as well. In at number 3, Dudley Nichols. Unfortunately, I wish we could have some sort of clip for Dudley like we did with everyone else, but the reality is, Dudley is the OG of refusing Oscars. In fact, in 1935, he was the very first person to ever refuse the award. Dudley had won Best Screenplay for the film The Informer, a film about the Irish War of Independence. His reason for boycotting the event was over an ongoing dispute that Dudley had with the Academy and the Writers Guild. The LA Times even recorded that he tried to give back his award, like he was returning a pair of jeans. Eventually, he was able to return the award, and with it he attached a note. The note said, "It would be to turn my back on nearly 1,000 members who ventured everything in the long drawn out fight for a genuine writers organization." I mean, how powerful is that? Like, you remember when people used to stand for something? You go, Dudley, you go. In at number 2, George C. Scott.
Oh my god. The winner is George C. Scott.
Accepting the coveted.
Much like Dudley, George had a real problem with the Academy and the way they operated. In 1961, he received a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, but he told the Academy that he didn't want it. Furthermore, he told them that he disagreed on the principle of the award. George thought that the Oscars were simply a competition that pitted fellow actors against each other. Because of this controversy with the Academy, George would not be nominated again until 1971. However, the first year that they had him back in the nominations, this time it was for the Best Actor category, and sure enough, he won. And not only did he refuse to accept the award or any of the nominations before that, he didn't show up at all. He went on again to insult the ceremony further, calling it, and I quote, a 2-hour meat parade, a public display with contrived suspense for economic reasons. Powerful George C. Scott. I love that he decided to just dig his heels in further with his stance against the Oscars. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Marlon Brando.
Hello, my name is Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache.
Marlon Brando truly is the Godfather. Not only does he not show up to accept his award, but instead he sent a Native American woman to refuse it for him. You can see in the clip that the presenter extends the statue out to her and she just holds up her hand like, I'm good, chief, I'm good. And the woman said that her name was Sasheen Littlefeather, and at the time she was a little-known actress and president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee. Brando believed that the Native American image had been completely disrespected by the film industry, so his reason for refusing the award was due to the treatment of American Indians, but the crowd could not accept that. Midway through Littlefeather's speech, the celebrity audience members started booing her, and then later on making very crude comments towards her. Yet regardless of what they thought, this speech remains as one of the most powerful moments in Oscar history.